Hi everyone, welcome to Miss Adams Teaches Jekyll and Hyde. In today's session we're going to be looking at chapter 7, Incident at the Window. I'm going to read the chapter through for you. I'll pause every now and then just to make sure that you're happy with what's going on. It's a great idea to read along with me so that you're getting it, in two different ways, reading it and listening to it at the same time. Help you with your memory, help with your understanding. But for now, let's get cracking. This is quite a short little chapter, okay? Incident at the Window. It chanced on Sunday, when Mr. Utterson was on his usual walk with Mr. Enfield, that their way lay once again through the by-street, and that when they came in front of the door, they both stopped to gaze on it. "Well," said Enfield, "that story's at an end at least. We shall never see more of Mr. Hyde." "I hope not," said Utterson. "Did I ever tell you that I once saw him and shared your feeling of repulsion?" "It was impossible to do the one without the other," returned Enfield. "And by the way, what an ass you must have thought me, not to know that this was a back way to Dr. Jekyll's. It was partly your own fault that I found it out even when I did." "Oh, so you found it out, did you?" said Utterson. "But if that be so, we may step into the court and take a look at the windows. To tell you the truth, I am uneasy about poor Jekyll, and even outside I feel as if the presence of a friend might do him good." The court was very cool and a little damp, and full of premature twilight, although the sky high up overhead was still bright with sunset. The middle one of the three windows was halfway open, and sitting close beside it, taking the air with an infinite sadness of mien, like some disconsolate prisoner, Utterson saw Dr. Jekyll. "What, Jekyll?" he cried. "I trust you are better." "I am very low, Utterson," replied the doctor drearily. "Very low. It will not last long, thank God." "It will not last long, thank God?" Is he talking about his own life or his solitude? Certainly, Dr. Jekyll is not the happy man from before, trapped in his own house, sat at the window looking out like a disconsolate prisoner, like someone with a prisoner without hope. So things are pretty dreary. "You stay too much indoors," said the lawyer. "You should be out, whipping up the circulation, like Mr. Enfield and me." "This is my cousin, Mr. Enfield, Dr. Jekyll." "Come now, get your hat and take a quick turn with us." "Oh, you are very good," sighed the other. "I should like to very much, but no, it is quite impossible." "I dare not. But indeed, Utterson, I am very glad to see you. This is really a great pleasure. I would ask you and Mr. Enfield up, but the place is really not fit." "Why then," said the lawyer good-naturedly, "the best thing we can do is to stay down here and speak with you from where we are." "That is just what I was about to venture to propose," returned the doctor, with a smile. But the words were hardly uttered before the smile was struck out of his face and succeeded by an expression of such abject terror and despair as froze the very blood of the two gentlemen below. They saw it but for a glimpse, for the window was instantly thrust down, but that glimpse had been sufficient, and they turned and left the court without a word. In silence, too, they traversed the by-street, and it was not until they had come into a neighbouring thoroughfare, where even upon a Sunday there were still some stirrings of life, that Mr. Utterson at last turned and looked at his companion. They were both pale, and there was an answering horror in their eyes. "God forgive us, God forgive us," said Mr. Utterson. But Mr. Enfield only nodded his head very seriously and walked on once more in silence. What a baffling chapter. So we're in this kind of part of the day, where day turns to night. We're in that twilight zone of the day. And Jekyll, sad, lonely, trapped in the house, Utterson trying to comfort him, talking about whether or not they could just stand in the court and chat away and kind of make him feel a little bit chipper. And at first he's all up for it. And then suddenly something happens that means that his face changes and he looks terrified, slams down the window and runs away. But that's not what is weirdest. What's weirdest is the response that Utterson and Enfield have, this answering horror, the fact that Utterson calls God forgive us, like they have witnessed something horrendous or corrupting in some way. So if you want to find out more, you better tune in to the next chapter, chapter 8. If you haven't subscribed, click on that button so you know exactly when chapter 8 appears. Hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for reading along with me, and happy revising.